So before I talk about how and what I'm doing differently financially since becoming a minimalist, I want to take a moment to talk about where I started first. Now, I never liked credit cards. I still don't. And really, the whole idea behind borrowing money just doesn't sit right with me. Besides the student loans that I have, but that's another story for a different day. But don't get me wrong, I wasn't bad with money. I've always saved and I've always been intentional with how I spent the extra money that I had, but I wasn't always being intentional in the smartest way, if that makes sense. See, when I first started decluttering my closet the first time, I was very surprised by how many items I had that were brand new with tags still on them, or maybe there are items that I literally only wore once. And that's just one example. And it honestly, it still kind of makes me mad when I think about how much money I wasted. And there's this saying that I love that says something like, you spend money you don't have on things you don't need to impress people you don't know. Basically, at one point, that was me. So I bought these khakis from 𝗪𝗀𝗵𝗴𝘀, right? I wore them one time, my senior year of high school, once. Look at this. They're in the mint condition. Brand new freaking, I wore them once. Anyways, here are 3 key foundational topics for what I'm doing differently and really how I'm spending my money more smartly since becoming a minimalist. Now, the first thing that I'm doing is budgeting. And like I said, I wasn't bad with money. I just wasn't being very smart at the same time. And actually, my girlfriend and I, we went through 𝗨𝗺𝗵𝗺 University, Dave Ramsey's program, and it's been a very eye-opening experience for both of us and really seeing how and where our money is going. But budgeting has been a huge piece in how I'm starting to spend my money smartly. And now I'm really assigning every dollar that I make a place, a home. I know exactly where it's going. I'm not being dumb in purchasing things that I'm not going to use, and I'm just wasting the money like I used to. So budgeting is huge, and I definitely encourage you to find a way to budget your money. Again, I'm not a financial person. I'm just sharing what I'm doing and how I'm spending my money smartly and what I've changed since adopting a more minimalist mindset, and budgeting is a huge piece of that. Now, the second thing that I'm doing is something else that still plays into the whole mindset shift, and that is when I'm interested or looking at purchasing an item that costs a significant amount of money. I always go through a cost per use evaluation or calculation, or however you want to say it. And I don't literally look at the numbers and calculate out, okay, it costs this much, I have to use it this much. I don't do that. But mentally, I really evaluate the item. I think about my life. I think about my routines, my habits, and things that I enjoy doing. And I really have to get a firm understanding of whether or not I'm going to use this item enough to justify spending a certain amount of money on it. So for example, my camera, my microphone, my light, my MacBook, my editing software programs, Adobe, all of those things, I don't mind spending the money on because I know that I use them consistently, almost at a daily basis. But some other items in my life that I've had, such as cable, for example, my girlfriend and I, we don't pay for cable because we don't watch TV. So that would be a waste of money for me. So I always go through a cost per use evaluation, whether or not I'm using the item enough to justify spending a significant amount of money on it. Now, again, all of these things that I'm mentioning are foundational topics. And if you want me to go more in depth about how and what I'm learning and really how I'm budgeting or anything like that, go ahead and comment below and let me know. Again, this is just things that I'm doing. I'm not giving you financial advice per se. That's not my profession, but I'm just sharing what I'm doing. So the third key foundational topic for me is investing. And honestly, I'm still learning a lot about investing, but I do own some stock in the company that I work for. I am investing in my retirement fund or plan or whatever you want to call it. But I'm learning more about that role because I do want to invest significantly in my future. And one thing that I'm really focusing on right now with my money and my finances is getting out of debt. And again, this is, to go back to the financial peace class that we've gone through, and I am on track to paying off my student loans as quick and as fast as possible. and I'm actually ahead of where I thought I would be, which is a surprise to me. But again, it goes back to budgeting, knowing where my money is going and really paying off that debt as quick as possible. But I don't want to get on a tangent. Those are the 3 key foundational topics that I'm doing differently. I'm investing, I'm calculating my cost per use, and then again, I'm budgeting every dollar that I make. So if you enjoyed this, make sure you hit a thumbs up for me. Make sure you hit that subscribe button down below if you're new. And always remember, stay true to you. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.